Hey guys, Mark McKillier here with Live Anabolic, and going to do things a little different. Got to sit down and talk with you guys today instead of running around in the garage or in my den throwing weights and bands all over the place. I want to talk to you all about whether it's still possible to build muscle after the age of 50, or for that matter after the age of 40. Guys, I get that question a lot. When I'm working out at the gym, I get emails, I get people sending me messages on Facebook and Instagram, and the answer is, of course, yes. Of course it is. Now, it's going to be tougher because we're older, and one of the reasons why it's tougher is because of testosterone. And I know, don't roll your eyes, you've heard me talk about this a lot, but it's just true. So when we're young, we've got a lot more testosterone. Testosterone is just really critical to allow the muscles to synthesize protein and turn it into new muscle fiber to repair the damaged muscle fibers from working out. And another thing is as we get older, I think a lot of us just plain flat get lazy. You get used to taking the escalator up instead of walking the stairs, at the mall or at the airport. You might take the elevator even though you're only going to the 3rd floor. Why not walk up 3 floors? Another biggie is, a lot of you guys probably play golf. I see it all the time. You get in a golf cart. Everybody gets in a golf cart in the United States. Guess what? You go to Europe, you go over to Scotland or England, you have to get a permission slip from your doctor at some golf courses to take a golf cart. They frown on it. Everybody walks over in Europe. And guess what? We're all a bunch of fat asses and out of shape over here, and we all get in golf carts. So part of it is right here, the mentality. We get used to trying to do things the easiest way possible, okay? When we were all young, if we wanted to change the channel on the TV, guess what we did? We got up off the couch, walked over to the TV, turned the channel, because there was only 4 channels to begin with, walked back over and sat down. Nowadays, you just sit there with your thumb, right? So everything we do now is so much easier. Matter of fact, I grew up in a wealthy neighborhood when I was young, and most of us in our neighborhood mowed our own lawns back in those days. I'm only 57. Nowadays, a lot of middle-class neighborhoods pay other people to come in and mow their lawns. That's great exercise, guys. So it's just a mentality you get into where you want to make everything easier and softer and more convenient, okay? And you got to get out of that mentality. I focus on that all the time. So when I go park at the gym, let's say, I will tend to park far away from the entrance to the gym, and I'll walk. It may be 100 yards or more, okay? But guess what? I don't get any door dings because there's nobody parked around there. I cannot tell you how many times I've sat there at the door to the gym and watched people circle the parking lot, all right? Trying to get a place right up close to the front door, okay? And they're going to the gym to exercise, but they don't want to walk 50 yards. There's tons of parking places just a little further away. It's just crazy. So, we start doing this stuff and we don't even think about it, okay? So that's the first thing. You got to get away from trying to make things easy. Find ways to make things difficult for yourself, okay? You have to push yourself. And guys, it's not easy, I understand. So I have a hard time. I really like staying in shape, and I need to, for this job I do. And I still have to find ways to motivate myself. And one of the ways that I have found is using other people, okay? I got a young friend of mine, he's 27 years old. You're gonna see more of him later when we come out with a really cool workout program, but he's in the Marines, he's in crazy great shape. We've become very close friends, and frankly, I use him to push myself, okay? So I try to kind of do these competitions with him, and he beats me on almost everything, especially when it comes to cardio. But it doesn't matter. Even if I keep losing, I don't give up, okay? I still push myself harder. I just want to lose by less, okay? So find somebody to motivate you. And I don't care if it's myself or Gary or anybody else that you know. It could be somebody much younger than you, it could be somebody your age, I don't care. Find somebody that you want to emulate. You like their work ethic, you like the way they look, just their discipline and their lifestyle. Use that, okay? Now, another thing about building muscle as we get older, and that is, you don't realize this, but we all have plenty of muscle. You just can't see it because it's being hidden by fat. Now this is a biggie. I promise, guys, if you lose that body fat, you will look more muscular and more ripped automatically. Even if you don't put on an ounce of extra muscle, you will look bigger. I did a contest about, well, I was 49, so it was 8 years ago. And that was the least I had weighed since high school. And I looked huge, okay? I mean, I had to lose about 15 pounds, all right? But when I lost all that weight, I looked bigger because you can see all the muscle definition. I mean, it's crazy. It was phenomenal. So really, it's more of a trick than an actual muscle building advice here, and that is, you get lean, you lose body fat, you're gonna look way more muscular, way bigger, even though you weigh less. And then guys, another one is, you are what you eat. You know, you hear people like myself say abs are made in the kitchen. Well, so is muscle. You got to know what to eat, and you got to be consistent. That's even more important probably than the weightlifting is the nutrition and the consistency. All the other trainers and experts that I've talked to and I've read, you know, online and read their books, they all say that nutrition is probably 70% of what it takes to really look good and get in great shape. And I agree with that. So it's something you got to do day in and day out, and it's fine to have cheat meals, all right? It's fine to screw up, okay? You know, just because you were at a party and you had a bunch of cake and ice cream, don't give up, all right? A lot of people do that. They think, oh, screw it, I can't do it, and they just quit. That's okay. That's just 500 or 600 extra calories that you didn't need. Just get back on the wagon the very next day and start over again. It's easy. I do it all the time, okay? So it's consistency with your nutrition. You need to know what to eat. Protein is critical. Avoiding sugar is critical. You just do those two things, okay? You're halfway there when it comes to nutrition. And then, of course, you gotta lift weights, guys. You got to exercise. So, you know, it's great going out and running and biking and rowing and getting on the elliptical and the Stairmaster. That's wonderful, okay? But you got to do resistance training. Dumbbells, resistance bands, get a gym membership. When it comes to injuries, you just have to work through it. You cannot give up just because you got injured. I mean, I hurt my knee. That doesn't mean I quit going to the gym and working out. I mean, I can still do 90% of what I normally do. I just have to avoid a couple of exercises that aggravate my knee. And don't feel like it's just because we're old that we're getting hurt. You guys probably don't have the circle of young friends that I have. And I'm in kind of a unique situation just because of what I do for a living. I end up meeting a bunch of guys in their 20s that are just fantastic shape. They're ripped, all this kind of stuff. And it's great. I love working out with these guys. So I had a buddy of mine who's 22 years old. He played football for the University of Texas. He's in great shape. And he was working out with me in my garage gym. And his back has been killing him. He'd been complaining about it. You know, he's going to the chiropractor. Hell, he's 22. And, you know, look at what the guy looks like. He's ripped. Well, he got an x-ray the next day. Turns out he's got a fracture in his lower vertebrae. He's 22. So guys, I know a ton of young guys that get injured, all right? So it's not just those old farts, all right? So do not give up. And don't use that as an excuse either. I have tons of older friends that use it as an excuse, and they don't look nearly as well as they could. Another way to build muscle, and that is, guys, it's alcohol. I love to drink. Matter of fact, you probably see my bar in the background of some of these videos. Okay, so I got a well-stocked bar, and when I have buddies over here, I love drinking with my buddies, and usually it's 1, maybe 2 drinks. But I only drink once or twice a week, okay, and it's not much. So I have a bunch of friends, you know, they come home and they open a bottle of wine and they drink a whole bottle, or they split it with their wife, or they have 3 mixed drinks, or even 2 mixed drinks, but they do it 7 nights a week, okay? So guys, that all adds up, and it's not just the calories. Alcohol hurts your body's ability to synthesize protein and turn it into muscle. It doesn't just stop it completely. It just screws it up a little bit, so you're not nearly as efficient. So, you know, alcohol basically hurts the muscle building process. That's why when bodybuilders are getting ready for a show. They start about 3 months ahead of time and go on a crazy strict diet, and they don't touch a drop of alcohol for 3 months before the contest. And so that's another reason why. So, and then finally, guys, if we get in and we lift the weights and you get somebody to motivate you, you're going to really be surprised at how strong you can get. But it's not going to happen in 4 weeks. And that's the other thing is, you know, come on, we're old enough now to know better, okay, that it takes time and you got to stick with it, and it's persistence. When you're young, that's fine. You get it, you know, these young guys give up because they don't see immediate results. We should be smarter than that now, okay? You know better than that, so don't use that as an excuse, all right? Because I think some people tend to look for reasons to quit, and they go, well, hell, I'm not ripped, you know, my gosh, it's not going to happen. Well, it takes months and months, okay, for this to really, really kick in. The first thing you're going to see is the fat loss. If you really watch your nutrition and your food intake, and you start throwing in some exercise, the fat's really going to start melting off, and you will look more muscular when you look in the mirror. I promise, guys. Oh, and that's another reason, another thing I want you to do. Take progress pictures, guys. And there's a trick to this. Almost everybody screws this up. You need to take a progress picture in a well-lit place, okay? And take it in the exact same location with the same lighting and the same distance from the camera every single time. Okay, so I have clients that I've trained all over the world, literally in Australia, New Zealand, and India, and Canada. And these guys will take one picture in the den, and they'll take another picture in the bathroom, and another one in the bedroom, and then one, and you can't see what's going on, okay? So real straightforward, guys. Progress pictures start right now when you look your worst, because you will not realize how far you've come in 3 months. You see yourself every day in the mirror, and little tiny gradual changes don't get picked up by your brain, okay? So starting picture, and then take a picture every month or two, okay? And, you know, it's real straightforward. Just write down your weight too. You know, put it next to your progress pic. You know, that's another thing I was doing for my clients. I would take their pictures and I would crop them and put them side by side and put the weight under each picture. Another thing, just kind of keep track of that. Write it down someplace. Another thing, guys, and I mentioned it earlier, and that's your testosterone. So really you need to get it checked, okay? Especially if you're showing some symptoms, okay, of low T. And it's real inexpensive, okay? It's real straightforward. I can't remember if it's about $50, $60. They can mail a kit directly to your house. You prick your finger and you put it in a little vial and then mail it right back to them. And a few days later they tell you. And they'll actually have a doctor talk to you about it. So if you have low T, it's going to be really hard to put on muscle, no matter how well you eat, no matter how hard you exercise. So at least find out, okay? And then if you have low T, there's some different things you can do about it. You can try some supplements, all right? A lot of times just literally exercising really strenuously and eating really well literally will increase your body's natural production of testosterone. And then couple that with some supplements, and a lot of times that does it for guys. Some guys have got bigger problems, and then they can get TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. Completely different subject, but if you need it, that's fine. Do it and you will see results. Another thing, guys, that gets forgotten and it gets much less attention than it needs, and that's water. And then, of course, that's kind of part of nutrition, right? Most of us, and myself included, really don't drink enough water. And you're thinking, well, hell, I'm not thirsty. Well, once you get thirsty, it's too late. You're already dehydrated. So force yourself to drink water. A lot of people say you need to drink a gallon a day. I think if it's kind of cool and you're not sweating a lot, you know, probably 3/4 of a gallon. You know, once it gets hot in the summer and you just kind of naturally sweat more, you probably need a gallon a day. And this is what I found out with me is I won't be thirsty, but if I keep a glass of water on the desk next to me and I'm working on my computer, I won't even notice, and I'll look over and it's gone. I've drank all the water, okay? Now, I'm not thirsty, but if I go fill that glass up and come right back, 30 minutes later I look over and the water's gone. It's just weird. So guys, just keep water handy and you will be surprised at how much you drink. And the more hydrated you are, the more efficient your body is at burning all this food, you know, all these calories, and converting it into muscle. And it also is really good at getting rid of the waste product, you know, that our body just naturally creates. So plus it helps you with your sleep, it helps you with your bowel movements, okay? And another thing is it helps you feel full, so you won't be as hungry, especially for you guys that are really trying to cut back on your calories. You know, and the caloric deficit is another thing. You know, obviously you got to take fewer calories in than you expend every day in energy if you're trying to lose body fat. That's just, you know, that's just basic math, okay? But that's a whole different subject, and I've created a specific video just on that topic. So go back and find that in our list down below. And finally, I just want to kind of wrap it up with another thing that, you know, may seem obvious when I mention it to you, but most people don't even think about it. And that's sleep. Sleep and stress kind of go hand in hand. So a lot of the muscle building and repair goes on at night when we're laying down in bed and we're sleeping, okay? So if you're not getting enough rest, then you're not getting 100% of the benefit out of that badass workout that you did early in the day. Same thing goes with nutrition. So you can work your ass off in the gym, just kill yourself with the weights, okay? But if you don't get enough protein and enough nutrients and vitamins and minerals and sleep, then you may only get 50% benefit out of that workout. Well, hell, screw that. That's hard, you know, all right? I don't want to kill myself working out and then only get, you know, 50% of the results just because I was lazy on my sleep and my food and my water. So the other thing is, when you get plenty of sleep, it really does help with your stress levels. And guys, there's another hormone called cortisol that tends to get high if you don't get enough sleep and if you have a lot of stress. And the more cortisol your body makes, the less testosterone you can make, because it uses a similar enzyme in your body, and your body only makes enough for one or the other. It doesn't make enough for high cortisol and high testosterone. So you keep your stress low, you keep your cortisol levels low, and you will just naturally have a little bit more testosterone. So guys, wrap it all up. Wow, that was a lot of different things, right? So yes, you can definitely build. I'm 57 years old, guys. So if I can do it, I promise you guys can do it. The difference is, I'm really persistent. I do not give up, okay? And I have found some guys that motivate me. I want to look like those guys, all right? I want to be able to compete with them. I want to go mountain climbing with my 27-year-old Marine buddy, right? And not hold him back. I want to be able to lift weights with him. I want to be able to run with the guy, okay? So find somebody that will help push you and keep you consistent, all right? Because that's what it all is. It's consistency and knowing what to do. So guys, hopefully you got something out of this video, guys. And that is, yes, building a muscle after 50 is absolutely possible, but we got to be a little smarter because our bodies are not as efficient as they were 30 years ago. And then finally, hit that little thumbs up, share this video with some of your buddies, subscribe to the channel, and guys, just like I've been saying for the last 15 minutes, it doesn't happen overnight. You got to always stick with it and never give up on yourself.